So cool. Boom. 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 Boom.
Welcome back to another episode of The Travel Guides. You are tuning into the second episode of Season 3. If you enjoyed this one, go back and watch the others. Today, let's explore the town of Georgetown, Colorado. Arrived pretty early today and looked around town, realizing nothing was astir just yet. So I moseyed my way over to the local cafe for breakfast, called Mountain Mama's Needful Things. Everyone here was super nice, and it was an interesting little shop, which was a small gift shop on the left-hand side and a cafe on the right. I picked up some hot tea and homemade cinnamon rolls. Since it was early and the town was just starting to wake, I decided to go on the other end and explore the Georgetown Lake to take the hike around it. Let's see what it has to offer on this beautiful morning. It is time to stretch our legs and take a lap around the scenic lake nestled up next to Highway 70, the gateway into the Rockies, or the gateway into Colorado ski country, whatever one you want to do. This could be a great place for a quick pit stop to stretch your legs while passing through. The lake was originally made to supply water and electricity to Georgetown. It's now more of a recreational area that does still supply some electricity with other activities including fishing, paddleboarding, and just some relaxing sightseeing as well. As you start along the path right next to the highway, it is definitely prevalent that you are, well, next to the highway. It can be a little loud. But once you venture in a little further, it's not too bad. The area is accessible for almost anyone and even includes a small sightseeing platform to spot some mountain goats. Let's enjoy the remainder of the loop and head over to the next portion of the trip. As I walked around the lake, it made me think about a harrowing story of a long-lost weary traveler named George Griffith. He woke one early Kentucky morning, hearing the cardinals chirping, fluttering in the distance, noticing a strange tingly feeling in the air, pulling him westward toward the great and wild Rocky Mountains. He went town to town from east to west, looking for the source of this growing scent that was increasing as the miles from home kept on ticking by. As he traveled, he came to realize that maybe this is a new place to call home, or is it a long-lost family member calling to him, or even a great spot to vacation. When he arrived in Denver, he could smell the air was almost right, but not just quite there. Just as fast as he arrived in this growing and new noisy trading hub of a city, it was time to go. So he continued this harrowing tale through the twisting and winding pioneer paths of old, as this hunch grew stronger and stronger. Growing more exhausted and tired by the day, he thought there would be no end, and the only end would happen to him. Then out of the blue, through the thick, piney forest and the sound of the mountain goats echoing through the valley, George smelled it. It was just a twinkle of a scent at first, but as it grew exponentially stronger, even more potent than even before, even more potent with each step, the tree suddenly opened up, and he found a burst of energy as the smell grew to its most intense. That's when he knew he had found his new home, Georgetown, Colorado, with silver veins so thick you could smell it in the air. Whoa, look at that! Looks like we have found our way to the other side of the lake, and it is time to journey on. I make a quick pit stop at the Georgetown Overlook where I talk about some trees.
Now, boom, this is kind of like this cool main Georgetown overlook. I guess this is a picture in 1890 of this same town about at this location. There's a lot more trees now than there was. Look at this, there's nothing. Huh. Maybe they're all used to build this.
The next part of our journey through this historic silver boom town is an old railway used to transport miners, ore, and other goods between Georgetown and Silver Plume. Oh, do you hear that? Sounds like the train's calling for us to head on over and take a ride on the historic Georgetown Loop Railroad. We start off the journey up to Silver Plume, where great riches await. Well, maybe not today, but a little over a century ago, that could have been the truth. This out and back train trip takes you through a long series of switchbacks climbing up the valley from Georgetown. This is a narrow gauge line used for tourism today, but was once a vital piece of the infrastructure in this area. Wait just a second. You know what? Let me get good old Cooper Oakwood over here to take the rest over.
Well, looky here. It looks like I'm going to take over for this mighty fine piece of locomotion. Yep, it's time we take the daring cross over this majestic piece of iron overlooking the valley below. This 90-foot tall bridge is the focal point of the ride. Man, just imagine yourself back in 1875 getting a sight like this. Must have felt incredible. Much of this line was restored during the 1970s and 80s, which the bridge having to be fully rebuilt to its current stature. This railroad currently rotates between 3 historic steam engines and 4 diesels, pulling a variety of restored cars along this very track. Being able to sit up close to one of those steam engines was awesome. They are just simply a powerful piece of engineering. You can feel the power with each stroke of the piston in your chest. I would not want to accidentally wind up in front of one of these power beasts. I'd be flatter than a hot pancake run over by a semi. Shoo-wee! Once you arrive at the top, you have a chance to deboard for a quick break and check out the restored station and small train museum right next door. Hope to see y'all again. Let's enjoy the rest of this ride and grab some lunch.
What a ride! That was a very cool experience. I personally had a good relaxed time riding this, and getting lucky with having the steam engine was a nice cherry on top. If you're in the area, definitely check this out or make it a day trip to come on out. It's a good time for the whole family. As you can see, it is lunchtime. The batter up next on the roster today is a barbecue spot just outside of downtown called Scooter's Barbecue, where I picked up a brisket sandwich and some fries. I'm gonna put a to be determined for the rating because they were absolutely slammed and just about out of most of the stuff when I had arrived. I wanna go back and give it a fair score next time I'm in the area. When I make it out, I'll either throw it in the comment section or in the description of the rating. Overall, what I got was solid, just I have a feeling it can be much better on a different day. Their sauces were great, by the way. Now that the town is awake and moving and a-grooving, it's time to go explore what downtown has to offer. Let's start off with some of the stores along this historic main drag. Surprisingly enough, Georgetown has a rich history due to a good portion of the town having been kept fairly original. The downtown is so well preserved that most of it has been labeled as a National Historic Monument. Having this designation does mean it has no shortage of places to check out while moseying around. Starting off with Georgetown Coffee and Tea and the Georgetown Gallery. Or Shop International, the Christmas shop, which is an interesting all year round Christmas spot if you're looking for that kind of thing. Stonehenge, Buckskin, My Lovely Company, Georgetown Valley Candy Company, The Happy Cooker. Now we have arrived at our first look into Georgetown's history at the Georgetown Energy Museum. This plant was built at the crisp date of 1900. Becoming the main power supply for the town and mines surrounding the valley. It starts off showing how electricity is generated with turbines and a general history of the building of the plant. You will exit this room and walk around back to the maintenance room where you can see most of the equipment new and old to keep this place humming. It continues on the history of the town and how having this electricity has shaped the area, including information on the Georgetown Lake. The final room includes more artifacts and information, but allows you a unique close look to what a turbine would look like at a hydroelectric plant. Now, these are significantly smaller than many larger reservoirs require, but it's still cool to see up close. These have been operating up to a couple months before this was filmed. I'm not exactly sure if the turbine is active again since leaving, but when I was there it was not, and they didn't know if or when it will be reactivated, unfortunately. Moving on to the other half of the main drag includes Colorado Ware, Columbine Corner, Aspen Creek Used Books and Rail Arts and Gifts, Nissel and Anderson General Store.
I feel like I'm walking around to get my wares for a long trip to get rich with gold in California. Just need to pick up some fancy new cans of beans and local jerky to keep the belly tame.
A few more stops are Guanella Pass Brewery and a cantina next door, Lil Annie's Cafe, Georgetown Jerky Emporium, and finally, 511 Rose. Let's wrap up downtown at the old firehouse and museum about a block away. This cool little tower of history is a fairly quick and interesting tour. You start off taking a peek at some of the original horse-drawn firefighting carriages and make your way up the tight corridor of a tower and enter the main meeting room that still has the original fixtures and carpet from the 1800s. I don't want to spoil too much of what you go over so you can also enjoy the experience. One last item I want to show you is the wall near the stairs, showing off its proud history, having engravings from a bunch of the original firefighters who have been there. If you want more history, there are 2 other sites to take a tour through, which you will have to schedule at Hamel House Museum and the Hotel de Paris Museum. And there you have it. That just about wraps up the town. Okie dokie, it's time to take on one of the multiple hikes in the area, the Griffin Memorial Overlook. Let's jump on in.
Welcome to Clifford Griffins Trail. We are at the top. I'm not going to turn around to not spoil it because you gotta get there. So, welcome to the hike. I don't think I filmed the intro of this at the bottom. And we are at our next part of the adventure, taking this hike up. I've already experienced it. It is a blast. It's really cool. So, without further ado, let's get rolling on this hike. Let's check this out. It is beautiful, awesome. And this hike is in Silver Plume. I know it's not Georgetown, but it's literally 6 minutes from downtown Georgetown. So this is, I'm just going to say this is Georgetown. This was the best hike that's kind of doable with a town trip near. A lot of them are mega hikes that I'm going to do later on, or it's not ready to be hiked yet because, oh, I almost turned it around and gave the view away. But basically, there's still quite a bit of snow. Let's get into this hike. I'll see you at the top. As you can see, we have made it to some of the mine and kind of the mine ruins. This is pretty cool. I'm just making my way over here. Look at this. This looks like a shaft or a mine cart trolley deal. All right, cool stuff. That shed back there is just neat to get up in close to something like that. They're like these 100-year-old mine ruins that are just out here left to decay and just become a part of the landscape, just like all these rocks. It's wild though to think the whole time you can see these trailings all the way up. All this dirt and rocks and everything came out of a hole that people were just drilling and mining and blasting like 5 feet at a time. Enough to just fill this whole area up. Super cool. Super, super cool. But look, you know what? This is a chute. It looks like. Is it cable? Look at that. I wonder if this is. Now, is this. Would this have been a water chute? Oh no, this is probably a mine chute. Cool stuff. Alright. Well, that's all I had to show you for now. There's still a good little chunk to go yet till we get to the monument. So I'll get that in a couple clips here and I'll see you there. Man, what a view. Boom. Wow. Woo. Wow. Phew, what a drop. Oh goodness. Look at that. There's that like waterfall. My. What a hike. Okey smoky. So I guess it's a monument to Clifford Griffin. So yeah, worth it. This hike was so worth it. Super cool, beautiful, nice little challenge. Because you do about what, 1.5 miles, and you do almost 1,300 feet. So it's a good challenge, a good calf burner. But it is beautiful the whole way. Awesome stuff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so I would say overall, it is a little bit of a challenge. This isn't for everybody, especially now that I don't know what altitude we're probably at, like a little over 9,000 feet at least. So this is not going to be for everybody. And yeah, cool. Right down there, that's I-70, like the heart of ski country highway. Takes you all the big ski resorts in good old Colorado. Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I have to kind of cut this conversation short because I got to get rolling. I got to get back to Georgetown. I need to eat a little, just get like a snack or dinner for the town trip. Then the town trip's wrapped up. And yeah. So yeah, overall, awesome hike. Beautiful, great, fun. I like the ruins that you see throughout the hike coming up. That's always cool, just to kind of see the paths that you're walking through. And all right.
It's about time to wrap the day up and get some dinner just outside of downtown Georgetown. Unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, most of the restaurants were closed today at about 5 or 6 p.m. So I went to one of the few places that were left open, and it was the local dive bar for some finger food. Oddly enough, this place has turned into one of my go-to spots when driving through from a hike, mainly due to the nice location having the deck next to the stream and some very decent prices for some of the simple dive style food. This cool little gem is called Mother's Saloon, and I got just a little buffalo chicken sandwich with some chips. They do also have a pretty decent cheesesteak, or it's more of a chopped cheese, but anyway, it's still good. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Here is an outro of me struggling with the trash can.
So this is a quick little thing I think is kind of cool. Never seen this before. These are the hardiest trash cans. You gotta undo this carabiner here as a struggle bus. Another one.